Good morning. Welcome to JP's morning brief for February 24th, 2026. How's everybody going today? I do not know why I am swinging in the chair, but let's start. Welcome to the JP Reports, JP's morning brief. As we get started for the day, don't forget, if you're not already a follower, please click that follow button. And thank you for the couple people who followed over the last couple of days. Give us a thumbs up, like, please, and then chat. If you notice in the chat, I found the Texas flag, which is very special to me because I'm a native Texan, born and raised in Fort Worth, and it's all about me. If you know anyone that knows me, ask them, and they'll just tell you in a heartbeat that I'm everything. I bleed the yellow rose of Texas. I mean, it's all about Texas, but that's beside the point. It's special for us right now because this, as of yesterday, we started celebrating the 190th anniversary of the Siege of the Alamo. I'm gonna read you a letter by William Barrett Travis in just a second, because besides the Declaration of Independence, this is probably one of the most famous letters ever written, especially by a soldier. Okay, um, and then we have also I have the Rumble wallet. So if you feel inclined to give a tip, you can use the Rumble wallet and give me a tip if you want. But it's brought to you by Rumble itself. All right. So as we get started, let me go ahead and knock this out, and then we'll get started with the rest, and we'll go through with America 250. But I don't have it on the slide. I should have put it on there. I might do that for this afternoon. Okay. So to the people of Texas and all Americans, Commandancy of the Alamo of Behar, February 24th, 1836. To the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, fellow citizens and compatriots, I am besieged by 1,000 or more Mexicans under Santa Anna. I have sustained a continual bombardment and cannonade for 24 hours and have not lost a man. The enemy has demanded a surrender at discretion. Otherwise, the garrison is to be put to the sword. If the fort is taken, I have answered that demand with a cannon shot, and our flag still waves proudly from the walls. This is awesome. I shall never surrender or retreat. Then I call on you in the name of liberty and of patriotism and everything dear to the American character to come to our aid with all dispatch. The enemy is receiving reinforcements daily and will no doubt increase to 3 or 4,000 in 4 or 5 days. If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due to his honor and that of his country. Victory or death. William Barrett Travis, Lieutenant Colonel, Commander. And then he puts P.S. The Lord is on our side. With the enemy peered in sight, we had not 3 bushels of corn. We have since found in deserted houses 80 or 90 bushels and got into the walls 20 or 30 heads of beeves. That's cattle. And signed Travis. That letter was written today in 1836. Let me just go back. Tell you, soldiers are soldiers, and he was a soldier. All right, so let's go on to America's 250. If you are proud, whether you're outside of Texas or inside of Texas, if you're proud of that, leave me a comment in here And then over here in the live chat, let's put some Texas flags in there. I put that emote in there so we all have use of it. Give me a Texas flag, because our ancestors, I didn't have no ancestors in Texas in 1836. We came in the 1890s, but some of us are proud Texans, and I'll be a Texan to the day I die. All right. So yeah, leave some Texas flags in the live chat and give us a comment how proud you are of what Texas has done for the history of the United States. All right. So let's move on. Go back in history. What is that? 60 years prior. All right. Let's see. 86, 96, 06, 16, 26, 36. Yeah, 60 years prior to that, February 24th. 1776, and what was going on in preparation to the Revolutionary War, which is in the midst of ramping up. You might as well say we were in it, because we had a siege of Boston going on. In Maryland, there's not too much happened this day in 1776, so there is an overview of what happened on that day. Man, that letter messed me up. In Maryland, John Kirby enlisted as a private in the 6th Company of the 1st Maryland Regiment. The company eventually became part of the famous Maryland 400, known for their heroic stand at the Battle of Brooklyn later in 1776. General Schuyler wrote to John Hancock regarding the Committee of Indian Affairs. He forwarded a letter from James Dean about Oneida Indians there in New York, and meetings with the Six Nations at their council house. And then Stephen Mullen, acting on behalf of George Washington, issued passes for captains of captured prize ships and ordered the vessel Harrison, out of commission. In Virginia, John Augustine Washington wrote a letter to his brother George Washington and enclosed proceedings ordinance of the 4th Virginia Convention. That was with Patrick Henry. And then during the siege of Boston, George Washington was starting to move artillery to Dorchester Heights in preparation to the end of the siege, when they effectively convinced the British to leave Boston with 66 cannons and mortars raining fire down on them. All right, so that's what happened this day in 1776, and you heard what I just said about this day in 1836 in San Antonio. If you ever get a chance to go to San Antonio and visit the Alamo, you will be effectively moved. And what they're trying to do in the area, they effectively kept the cinemagraph in place, which is like the 100th anniversary of the Battle of the Alamo, and they have a beautiful monument. I'm going to have to get a picture of it, of the defenders, the heroes of the Alamo and stuff. And it's right outside the front of the Alamo. You can see it from the front doors and stuff. But what they're looking like, I think they're still on track of doing is they want to expand the area around the Alamo and make it into a historic battlefield, so people can understand what really happened. There's more than just the Alamo itself. So you have the Alamo here, and then the rest of the perimeter went like this, back, and this way, and there, and then back over to the Alamo and stuff. It was a huge, expansive battlefield. It was a wonder how 176 Texans were able to defend that for 13 days, but we were able to. And but if you're ever able to go visit the Alamo, do it. All right. If it's just to go visit the Alamo, there's other things to do in San Antonio, but I mean, when we left San Antonio, last time we were there, we left San Antonio and went east to Gonzales. And Gonzales is where the Texas Revolution actually started. See, I'm not even talking about what I'm supposed to be talking about. But Gonzales is where the Texas Revolution started on October 2nd, 1835. Y'all ever heard the term "come and take it"? Well, that's where it started because the Mexican army wanted our cannon that was there, and the Texans taunted them and said, "Come and take it," and raised flags and stuff. And then south of San Antonio was about a month later was Goliad, and what they had a flag there about with their right arm on it, and they painted a right arm on it. And it says, "It's here for the taking. We're going to die by the sword. You're not taking our fortress against our will." So there's a lot of history inside of Texas. And if you go 2 hours east of San Antonio to Houston on the east side of San Antonio, you have San Jacinto, right? And that's where our final battle against Santa Ana took place at, where we finished our victory for independence. And then just northwest of San Antonio, you have Washington on the Brazos, where we issued our Declaration of Independence. And so I'll give you a brief overview of Texas. All right. So we're not even go to the Dalmatian today. I'll give you a quick rundown. Today's Tuesday. The Dalmatian is open in Copper's Cove. They make great smash burgers. They're on Business 190 in the west side of Copper's Cove behind Bush's Chicken. And they're open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 2 and from 5:30 to 7 unless they sell out. All right? Go for it. It's called the Dalmatian, and it's at the back of the shopping center. All right. So let's get on to other things before I start crying about Texas. Man. So tonight is the State of the Union at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. The president already said it's going to be a long speech. So last year it was about 90 minutes. I would not doubt if that speech tonight lasted 120 minutes. Let's see. Mark this time down. I'm going to say an hour and 47 minutes. Okay, I'm going to write it down too. 1 hour 47 minutes. SOTU. Okay. So hope we'll see tonight if I'm right or wrong. All right. Does anyone have an idea how long the State of the Union might last tonight? If y'all have a guess, put it in the chat. All right. But I'm doing 1 hour and 46 minutes on my part. And then don't forget to give me a Texas flag for Colonel William Barrett Travis. All right, so the State of the Union. Trump aims to boost polls. He has an approval poll right now. We're right about 44%. President discounts the polls. He does not believe in them. He thinks we're more popular than that, which I tend to agree with them. There are a lot of people who still don't like him. I don't care. He's doing what's best for our country. The men's Olympic hockey team, most of them will be there tonight. Some of them had contractual agreements with their pro teams that they had to get back to. That's understandable. The women's hockey team, on the other hand, declined the invitation to appear at the State of the Union address. It's on them. Screw them. Let them go away. I don't care. We want patriotic people that love the United States to be in attendance. Okay. But the men's Olympic hockey team is going to be there, and I'm sure the president is going to get the vast majority of the Olympic team to go to the White House eventually. That'd be cool. All right. So before we get started, before we run out of time, like usual, President Trump will try to reverse bleak polling, which is not true, and propel toward victory at risk Republican majorities in Congress Tuesday with the State of the Union address, as the presence of the Supreme Court justices and possible hecklers threaten to throw him off script. Let's be professional, people. Let the president have his time, which is required by the Constitution. All right? This is not the time for congressional members to take their canes and shake it and say impeach him and or you lie, which is, I quoted a Democrat and I quoted a Republican. This is the president's required speech before the joint session of Congress. It's not required speech, but it says from time to time the president should. We could look it up in the Constitution. I'm going to go over this again this afternoon. I'm going to read from the Constitution this afternoon. It's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about. Trump said at the White House Monday on what will be his 6th annual address to Congress after speaking 1 hour and 39 minutes last year. We have a country that's now doing well. We have a greatest economy we've ever had, previewing the emphasis of cost of living issues. Trump is expected to receive positive news from his first years back in office, including lower inflation, more affordable rent and mortgages, record high stock values, generous new tax refunds for seniors, car buyers, and people who earn overtime and tips. He's also likely to tout feats such as brokering peace in Gaza, ending the migrant crisis on the southern border, and capturing Venezuela's dictator Nicolas Maduro and flattening Iranian nuclear sites. But the combative chief executive will also speak to a tense room with Supreme Court justices expected to be in the front row 4 days after he struck down his reciprocal and fentanyl tariffs, casting pending trade deals into doubt and likely forcing the Treasury to return $175 billion, which is not set in stone yet. They don't know exactly what's going to happen with all that money. And the Supreme Court gave him an out to how he can still collect tariffs besides the route he did go and that he's already implemented, because Saturday he signed off on 15% global tariffs. So it's not all negative. I mean, some of these people that write some of these articles need to really look at how they're actually doing stuff, unless they have a set agenda against the president. I mean, these people are newspaper writers, so a lot of them are biased anyway. And whether you say, oh, they're a conservative news outlet, not all the reporters in a conservative news outlet are conservative. I mean, you have left and right in any organization to go to. I mean, you look at Scott Jennings at CNN. That man, I feel sorry for him, but he hangs around because he wants to provide the conservative viewpoint of what's going on with the White House to a liberal audience. So hopefully he's being well compensated. There's intense buzz in Washington, meanwhile, about the possibility that Democrats will heckle him, particularly over his past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. 99% of Democrats in Washington probably had a relationship with him. Trump broke off his relations in the early 2000s, but he's prone to erupting over the topic, flashing his middle finger and shouting F you last month when Michigan auto worker called him a pedophile protector, which he definitely is not. I have an article in there in which Stephen King, the acclaimed author, actually accused the president of not having any children. And we take people like that serious, right? Well, why should we take people like that serious? I mean, that is crazy. Where is that at? Yeah. Horror author Stephen King is facing backlash on Monday for a post tearing into President Donald Trump's personal life, including a line claiming that Trump has no children. He has 5 children. He has Donald, he has Eric, Ivanka, he has Tiffany, and he has Barron. Five. Five. And they all look the same. Wow. Um, um, Trump has never had a child. He's been married 3 times, ran several businesses into the ground. He had a very flourishing business. Never ran a home, couldn't make a bed to save his blank, calls people he works with dumb, losers, etc. Never done sweat labor, and has never served on a local committee. Uh, King said in a post to X. And the post immediately began drawing criticism from accounts like Libs on TikTok. Trump literally has 5 kids. What is this blank? I'm pretty sure Donald Trump has children. Um, is there a 25th Amendment for taking people's phones away? Donald Trump famously childless. Yeah. Trump's King's comments came as Trump, who is a father of 5 children and his second presidential term, is set to address the country Tuesday evening. I think Stephen King needs to go get checked mentally. His time may be done in the public view. And then what's his name? Gavin Newscum is wanting. So I'm running out of time here, right? Gavin Newscum got a word salad going on. There's also this other Democrat. Her name is Maxine Dexter, and she is promising, if she's reelected in Congress, that she will abolish ICE totally dismount it if the Democrats end up in the majority. Well, one thing I have to say to Miss Dexter from Oregon, she needs to figure out how the Constitution is written, because unless there's a veto-proof majority in the legislation, the president will veto that bill. And then she'll be back to square one. And if she promises to do it again, he's just going to veto again. Too bad we can't just veto stupidness, because this is the reason why you don't vote for Democrats. I talk a lot about the Secretary General over in Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, who's going to give the Democrat response, and then what's his name, Daffy Duck, Alex Padilla. He's going to give the Democrat response in Spanish, right? Democrats will say one thing and then do another. Just listen to Dan Bongino. He's on 1.5 to 2 hours every single day on Rumble. And he'll say, Republicans are not the solution to all your problems, but Democrats are never the solution to your problems, because the Democrats will lie to your face. We had a discussion on a meeting last night. We were talking about what should we endorse a weak Democrat, and I said, look, we're a conservative organization. We shouldn't be endorsing any Democrat even if there's all Democrats in the race. If he's good enough to win on his own, let him stand on his own and win his race. We shouldn't be endorsing any Democrat at all. It's against my principle to vote for a Democrat. So I would leave that sleeping dog to die, right? And what what's the name? Dan Bongino says also, most Republicans are Democrats, but no Democrats are Republicans. And that is something you should always remember in the back of your mind. Though, if you have to flip a coin and said, do I vote for this Republican that's not perfect or vote for this Democrat? Always vote for the Republican. I heard Dan Patrick say it on Saturday. There can only be one winner in a race. And your job after you get beat is to endorse the person that beat you. Put your baggage away, put your hard feelings away, and get out there, get behind a Republican candidate, and vote for him. Don't be one of the, I could never vote for that. I hate that person. He does not model after my belief in the Republican Party. And then you're going to sit there and watch a Democrat walk right into office, and you're going to be scratching your head, and you're going to say, what just happened? And that's one thing we should avoid doing at all costs, right? Forever. This is really ridiculous on some of the stuff, man. Some of the stuff that we do as politicians, policymakers, and just straight out voters. We get butthurt about the stuff that we actually believe in, and we take it to heart, and we don't forgive and forget. And thinking that there's also a race on the other side of people that are vile, evil, and then hate you, just like Susan Rice said the other day. There will be accountability when or if they take power again. They are coming after you, Mr. Republican, Mr. Conservative, Mr. Independent, and Mr. and Mrs. and Miss. It doesn't matter if you voted Republican or ever supported the conservative cause. These Democrats are going to come after you, and they will not stop until they are victorious and demolish and transform our country into a socialist country after their own view. Right? They don't care about you. They will lie to your face, and they will do the opposite of what they promised in their campaign. You always hear governing is different than campaigning, because a lot of politicians will lie to your face and pick your pocket at the same time. And that's what's going to happen. All right? It's already 6:58. I promise I always do only 30 minutes for the morning brief. I didn't get to do an ad read. Thank y'all for everyone that helped me out this morning. I appreciate the interaction on the chat. Y'all continue to put Texas flags on there for me, please, and put some comments in the comment section. All right. I found that Texas flag for all of us to use, and it'd be great if we do that. Okay. I'm going to get set up here real quick. Give me a second here. Let's see. I'm going to raid over to Vince in just a second. Give me a second to get that thing. Oh, there we go. Man, lots of clicks. So be patient, because yesterday, for some reason, it would not allow me to do the raid. But I'm going to click. It's already 7 o'clock. So I will see y'all at noon Central. And this is James Pierce with the JP8 report, or with the morning brief also. And I'll catch you on the flip side. It did let me do the raid, so I am raiding over to the Bongino report for Vince. 2-1